Process definition and module integration. Purchase and inventory module. Process ID. Process name. Brief description. 1.0 Location. This process defines the location address of bin/racks in store. 2.0 Analysis. This process defines the analysis parameters for ABC, FSN and XYZ criteria of stock. 3.0 Category. This process defines the item category. 4.0 Item group. This process defines the item grouping. 5.0 Delivery terms. This process defines the master list of purchase order delivery terms and conditions. 6.0 Payment terms. This process defines the master list of purchase order payment terms. 7.0 Unit of measure. This process defines the measurement units applied with item stock measurement. 8.0 Item. This is defining the master list of items. 9.0 Item opening balance. This is required to define the opening stock balance of items. 10.0 Supplier. This is required to define the master list of items suppliers. 11.0 Customer item. This process is used to define customer-wise item stock opening balances. 12.0 Approved supplier item. This process defines the supplier-wise approved item. Rates for PO purposes. 13.0 Transporter. This is required to define the master list of transporters. 14.0 Indent/PR. This is required to capture transaction data for purchase indents/requisitions from production department and received by purchase department. 15.0 Pr Consolidation. This process is required to consolidate indents for purchase and define schedule for purchase. 16.0 Purchase order. This process is required to capture purchase orders raised to suppliers. 17.0 PO Cancellation. This process allows for cancellation of PO after it has been released to supplier. 18.0 Material receipt with PO. This process is required to capture material receipt transaction received from suppliers against purchase orders. 19.0 Customer item receipt. This process captures the items received from customers to execute their orders. 20.0 Material receipt inspection with PO. This process is required to capture QC approved items received against purchase orders to suppliers. 21.0 Issue requisition with job order reference. This process is required to capture issue requisition to stores for issues against a particular job order reference. 22.0 Issue requisition without job order reference. This process is required to capture requisition from production for item issues. 23.0 Customer issue requisition. This process is required to capture issue requisition data for customer item issues. 24.0 Issue slip with job order reference. This process is required to capture issues to production against requisition with reference to job order. 25.0 Issue slip without job order reference. This process is required to capture issues against requisition without job reference. Process definition and module integration. Purchase and inventory module. 26.0 Customer item issue. This process captures the issues of customer items from customer store. 27.0 Customer stock transfer. This process captures the stock transfer from customer store to main store. 28.0 Issue return. This process is required to capture issue returns from production to main store. 29.0 Inter-store transfer. This process is required to capture transaction data for transfer of items from one store to another. 30.0 Stock adjustment. This process is required to match the difference in book balance stock/value with physical stock/value of an item. 31.0 NRGP. This process is required to capture rejected items sent returned to suppliers on non-returnable basis. 32.0 Job work issues. This process is required to capture transaction data for items sent out for job work on returnable basis. 33.0 Job work receipt. As it is, this process is used for receiving items as it is sent for job work. 34.0 Job work receipt, converted. This process is used for items received after job work done. 35.0 Allocating stocks. This process is required to define the item stock allocation against different job numbers. 36.0 Freeing stock allocation. This process is required to free any stock allocated against job number. Free stock will be available for issues to any other job.
Thanks for watching.